Hi, I'm Mayor David Pileski, and this is a Fireside Chat. Mayor Trilla, thank you for joining us here in Roselle today. Appreciate you coming out.
Great to be here. Absolutely.
To kind of start us off, can you just talk to me about, what does home rule mean to you as a mayor?
So in Willowbrook, home rule was vital for us. It may have actually saved the town, to not oversell it, but we had an environmental situation that presented itself, and we were basically bound by Illinois' current laws. What home rule allows you to do is go beyond Illinois' current laws and make it more restrictive, if you so choose.
Mm-hmm.
So in our situation, we were able to ban specific carcinogenic or thought of to be carcinogenic chemicals.
Those chemicals, can you talk a little bit more about that?
Ethylene oxide was a byproduct of a process that used to sterilize surgical tools, as well as a bunch of other things. Mm-hmm. But there was a gas that was put off, went through the smokestacks, and one day I'm sitting at my desk, and as it happens, all of a sudden there's a crisis. Mm-hmm. And our job is to handle that. And it became apparent to me that we didn't have all the tools we needed, and home rule was probably the key tool that helped us break through this. So we were able to, create a list of chemicals that need to be reported. We never had that before. We were able to ban very specific chemicals, which we didn't have that authority without. It was not a tool in our toolbox until we got home rule. We had to go to referendum. We had made certain promises. We had made pledges to not raise property tax, and we've honored that. Mm-hmm. It's my third term, so it was 2 terms ago, and we're still going strong on that. It did enable us to do enhance our hotel motel ordinances. Okay. We had some situations where people were staying beyond the 30 days, mm-hmm. Which presents multiple problems. But financially, there's no sales tax after the 30th day in a hotel. Mm-hmm. So, for a town, we're a very small town, we relied completely on sales tax. We also strove to lighten the burden on our residents by incorporating a couple of pass-through, we call them pass-through taxes. Mm-hmm. A couple cents on gasoline. We incorporated a self-storage tax. For some reason, there's 5 self-storage places in our tiny little town of 2 square miles. So we have a tax on that. We tried to come up with taxes that lighten the burden on our own residents. And so that was a big goal. That's basically, it started out of a necessity.
Absolutely.
Has delivered us financially to a whole different realm.
How big is Willowbrook? For those,
we're small. We're 2 square miles. We're 9,000 people. We have a lot of people. Route 83 goes right through the center of our.
A lot of people come through, probably and live there.
Right.
I know when you kind of talk about some of these pass-through taxes and whatnot, and the idea of having gasoline or kind of a home rule sales tax or storage unit tax, like you mentioned, something like that. What has that meant for the village from a financial perspective?
Well,
especially I can only imagine. Having 9,000 people, it must be a huge relief for your residents.
Right. So the example I can give you is when we were done with the sterigenics issue, we had about $1 million in our rainy day fund. Mm-hmm. By the time we were done with sterigenics, we were down to about $100,000 in our rainy day fund, and we were operating, keeping our head above water, but this was a turning point for us, right? So today we have over $6 million in reserves, and we are, and it's a direct, response to some of these taxes, efficient government, to be honest. We take pride, my board takes pride in the fact that we've said we're going to hold the line on taxes, and we have.
Well, I think that's the great thing about municipal governance. It's easy to get a hold of us, right? Or to get a hold of your trustees or whatnot. Because we live in the community, right? You can either come to a board meeting, you can probably find us in our yards.
Exactly.
I have yet to find or meet someone that's able to find the governor or some of these other people that are in Springfield making, these kind of decisions that impact us in a meaningful way to have a conversation. And I think when we talk about kind of some of the taxing authority, I think most of these home rule communities, it's similar to your story, right? Where property tax reliance becomes kind of it's not a thing anymore, and you can really find other opportunities to share the burden instead of having residents have to take on and pay for everything. Correct. And really share that with those that are using the burden sources.
It absolutely lightens the burden if it's used properly. And, for us, it's been a godsend. We've been very lucky.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah.
Anything you want to close out about home rule, your experience with it?
Two of the issues that I would add are the ability for local adjudication. Now, before I was involved in local politics, I had no idea what that would mean. What that means is the village would have the ability to process a lot of its own traffic issues, DUI issues. Instead of sending everything to Wheaton, you're able to handle that within your own entity, your own municipality. There's a lot of benefits to doing that. Some are financial, some are just practical. We're in the southeast corner of DuPage County, so
it's a bit of a hike.
It's a bit of a hike to Wheaton, and we have to pay the police, for their time and everything else, which is totally legit. Having it in your own backyard is a good advantage. It's something we're working towards currently, and it's an issue that I think it appeals to some towns more than others, but it definitely feels like something we're working towards. What was the other thing? Another item that we can do with home rule is we can enter into longer contracts. Longer contracts can result in better terms and better prices with contractors and bidding. So when you can give somebody 2 years worth of work, they can give you a more competitive price. We have that ability with home rule, and non-home rule does not have that ability. I think we're limited to 1 year before we had home rule. So it gives you competitive advantage financially. There's some towns can only offer 1 year's worth of projects. You might be able to offer 2 or 3, and you're going to get the better price and the better service, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, that's a benefit of home rule.
There's one constant in life, and it's things are going to cost more tomorrow, right? So the more that you can lump and find opportunities and advantages today, it pays back dividends absolutely in the future. So, Mayor Trilla, thank you for coming out. Really appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely, thanks. Pleasure to be here.